wrists, and feet. Dislocation, or luxation, is the displacement of bones from their normal alignment at a joint, most commonly seen in the shoulder, but also in the jaw and